Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Pure Goddess channel. My name is Gwenly. I'm passing by an elementary school, so I'm just letting people pass by so they could drop off their children. I'm not in a rush, so I hope everyone's doing well. Happy Tuesday. So, what are we going to talk about today? It's hard. Making these videos, it's been like therapy sessions with myself, honestly, which is good, which is nice. But I also like feedback, and I'm not getting that, right? No one's commenting on my videos. People may watch them, and that's okay, that's the purpose. But you guys don't be shy to say anything, to comment. If you resonate with like a small part of the video I've made, or the whole thing, or you want to tell your story, I'm not a person that's judgmental. I get excited and happy when people share. I'm not a greedy person. I'm not like selfish. I am not I'm just, I'm happy to see others and to hear others' experiences. I want everyone to win, even though a big majority of the people out there are selfish in that sense that, yeah, they may say they want you to win, but they honestly don't, right? But I wholeheartedly want everyone to win, because I don't see anyone as competition. I see people as like inspirations, motivation. I see positivity in people, right? If you take care of yourself better than myself, for example, I will be motivated by that. I'm not gonna feel negativity towards it. I'm not gonna be evil-eyeing you or jealous or envious because you take care of yourself. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't resonate with me. It's so easy to feel this way, right? But I appreciate myself. I love myself. I really just, you just better yourself every day, right? You just cherish and you live in the moment. I just got to my parking spot, and yeah, so it's not, I really would like to hear I would like to hear people's feedback or anything, you know. If you don't want to see a certain type of video or anything, you know, you don't want to hear me talk about certain things, we're just passing by, just say hi. So today I wanted to talk about more of the spiritual world. I've tried and tried and tried really hard to talk about I guess you could say, you know, and this life goes with, you talk about, you know, you go through experiences, spiritual or not, and but my point of view is more spiritual than 3D, and I've tried so hard to talk about it in a 3D sense, just so majority of you guys, not too spiritual and spiritual, could understand. And it's been nice, right? Because this is it's like a chapstick and it's a tinted lip balm. Two of my favorite things. It's like I like a tint and moisturizer. I don't understand. Sometimes I don't have time to put, you know, moisturize my lips or put chapstick on before putting on a lip gloss or matte lip gloss or whatever. So yeah, that works really good. And it's by Spoiled Child, which is it's funny. I don't know if they have more makeup items, but they are like, they sell out a lot of like their collagen. That's what they're popular for, and I got like 2 or 3 bottles of collagen to try for the first time sometime last year, and it came with like a free one, right? And it's one of my favorites. I just don't like the color sometimes because it's more pinkish than neutral, and but it's really moisturizing, which is awesome. But so yeah, so let's talk about more spiritual stuff. Thank the Lord, I have more energy today. I have more strength. I'm gaining it back little by little. I'm just really burnt out, really tired. You know, when you have spiritual warfare going on with the people in your life that are intentionally throwing things at you, evil eyeing you, throwing black magic, spells. The worst of the worst is speaking negative behind your back or to your face, especially, right? When you're trying to tolerate people, especially family, or friendships, and it's difficult to get out of those situations, right? Even relationships, like with a partner. And a lot of people in this world have that problem, right? It's not easy to get out of. And I thank the Lord for giving me that that strength and that will and that bravery. You know, I thank the Lord for all that is within me and what I embrace and who I am, because without him I wouldn't be anyone. And you know, time and time again, God has given me what I have, you know, naturally what I was born with and how I was born, how I have this bravery and patience and strength within me, you know, and this like childlike, pure heart, pure soul. How I want to see others win, just like myself. I don't carry greed or hate any, you know, what has been done to me over, you know, from my past. Yeah, there's heaviness sometimes and there's hurt still, but I'm healing. And you know, even though others try, those same people that have hurt me try to keep me in that energy, like I shouldn't be forgiving, like they're throwing more negativity onto me for me to still feel a certain way towards them, because that's me still giving energy to them, right? For me to still be mad at them or angry if they want to pick up a fight just so they can't literally get my energy, right? And you know, I've tried my best, and I've had the hardest test was with my ex, trying to parent with him. It's not really parenting, but trying to, while he was betraying me still, right? I was being betrayed. Even though we were not together, I was still being lied to. You know, false masks, still everything, even though it all happened when, you know, when we separated, when I moved away. It, you know, I was trying to, I guess, deal with all the resentment, the anger, the betrayal. You know, like I've never had someone do this to me. And obviously it was, no one's ever done so much, right? A narcissist. And still try to co-parent with him, talk to him every day for him to see his child on camera, you know? That was the hardest test for me. And until I was told, I was shown, I was told within, from God, from my guides, I can't take no more, right? Because he is taking advantage of the situation. There's financial abuse, there's passive aggressive, there's still abuse. Even if it's post, it's still similar abuse, right? And in a sense, he's still looking into my life. I used to be afraid of this narcissist person, right? When I was in a relationship with him. And, you know, little by little, I started believing more in God and having more faith and knowing that, you know, I am protected, and my discernment started heightening more, my gifts. You know, you, with life things, you become stronger and resilient. And he tried, he basically threw me away, in a sense. Like, he left me for dead, right? He left me as a single parent without a job, without nothing. I had to leave. I had to leave my home. I had to leave everything behind because of him. And everything was done purposely, intentional. Everything was planned, right? And so much of these things that were done to me, so much traits of his were traits from my own family. My own mother, and then my stepfather piggybacking on my mother being her accomplice, and then people in my household, right? My sister was younger. She didn't piggyback. She didn't get on the wagon with them until a few years ago, right? She was still young and innocent, but she got on it because she's karmic too. My brother, he was the main character. He was my mom's puppet, basically, and he still is. And I'm talking about the truth. This is the truth. She would rub my brother, make him look rub him like in front of me, make him look like he's the best child, right? Like, very unfair stuff for me to like feel bad. And yeah, it's normal for like mama's boy, whatever excuse. There's no excuse, right? It was done all intentional. So I never had a loving parent ever. I had to parent myself. I had to love myself. I had to nurture myself. And there's a lot of like I don't know if I would say blockages, but I've blocked a lot of my earlier years, my childhood, and some teen parts of my life. I've blocked it out for protection because of how I had to be in survival mode for myself, even though I was under their roof and they fed me and they clothed me. Like, it wasn't like abuse in that sense. It was more spiritual, emotional, mental abuse, for sure. And we can't go back, or we can't, there's no, I used to wish, I wish I didn't have a parent like this. I wish this, I wish that, all the time, right? And that doesn't really give you strength. That doesn't really do anything, right? Because it's already done. It was your past, it happened, and now this is what you're living in your present, right? We need to heal. I was always like drowning in all this that was done to me as a child, right? And I was, when my parents separated, I was around 8 years old, and I was my dad's favorite, right? I was my dad's favorite, and I was daddy's girl, and he protected me always, always, always protected me. I don't know how long he's been into like psychic readings and all this, from before I was born, but he knew. That's the thing that I still need to figure out, because my own father will not tell me the truth. You know, there is some type of knowing from them what my destiny was going to be, what gifts I had, what powerful gifts I had. And damn. Wow. A car backed up and they hit it. They hit the other car. They had so much space to back up, and they just hit the car and left. And this person just bought the car too, because there's no plates on it. So you see how I got distracted. My parents separated, right? Between 8 years old and 9 years old. And so I lost, my dad used to protect me in a spiritual sense. Like, he would protect me. And, like, we were very attached, you know? And it's more than just father-daughter. It was something else, you know? He wanted to protect me and my soul, because I was something special, right? That's the feeling that I remember having. And my parents separated, so he moved out. And after there, everything changed, because it was like my dad protecting me from my own mother. And I always remember her having a hateful anger, resentment towards me. I don't know why. You know, it's just like she hates me since I was a child. Like, I'm unbearable to her, you know? And I've always known that, you know? So I've always been familiar to that type of energy, that type of feeling. And me feeling that that was normal to feel, on a unconscious level. And, in an unconscious way. And I guess I feel now that I'm talking about it, because I haven't even spoke out how I felt, but now that's why I feel so much I feel resentful towards my dad, for that reason. Now, you know, I moved out of the state in 2016, right? I moved out for a few years, and before then my dad has always been, you know, we're more grown, and, you know, everyone has their own thing going on, but he never remarried. He would be in little relationships here and there, things that wouldn't last long, right? Maybe a year and a half or two tops. But he always had time for us, right? No matter the age, no matter how old, for my brother and I. And and then he remarried in 2017, I think, or 2018. He remarried, and you know, he's married now. He has his own home with his wife. And you know, as parents, we always see our parent as how he interacts with us, and that's all we know him for. We don't know him as their individual self, or how he is with his friends, with the opposite sex, with his partners, at work. You know, we don't know. And so he started changing, and I don't know, you know, he started showing who he really is. And on a spiritual sense, I don't agree that the person he is with aligns with him on a spiritual level. You know, and I don't have to 100% agree that that's the person for him, because it's his life, and everyone has their choices in life, right? No one has control over anyone. And yeah, you know, they married, and they knew each other for a few years before they got married, obviously. And he's changed a lot, and you know, there's some things that I don't like, I don't appreciate from his end, and that is why I've distanced myself towards him. But you know, I guess I'm just reflecting on why I have resentment towards him, because he left me when, you know, one day when my parents separated. He left me. That's how I feel, and it's a little girl, I'm hurt, you know, but it's not that. It's more of the protection that he had, how he protected me in my own home towards my mother. After he left, that protection was gone. So I was left with this evil witch, you know. And that's the car that bumped into the other one. They just passing by. But that's when everything changed in my life. And it's a big deal. It's a big deal because my mom she treated me like I was a stepdaughter. Like Cinderella, straight Cinderella. Like I am the outcast, right? I am the stepsister, the stepdaughter, I mean, and my stepmother is raising me, and she's treating me like shit. Like Cinderella, cleaning everything, cleaning the house. At an early age, I grew up, I was babysitting my siblings. I know it's normal for a lot of Hispanic people to like take care of their siblings because their parents gotta work, right? And it's normal, but it was in the sense of like, this is what you deserve, leftovers. You deserve shit. You don't deserve the best, right? And I didn't want to believe that for so long, until, you know, my mom got with my stepfather, and you know, they had a child, which was my stepsister. And I've never thought of her as my stepsister, right? Because she's gonna be she's 9 years younger than me. She's gonna be 8 years younger than me in a few weeks. But she was a baby, right? So I always thought of her as my baby sister. And you know, she was innocent, and as children are, right? And I started seeing, I realized that my mom, she was the head of the household. You know, she called all the shots. Um, and I was the only one that would clean the whole house, right? Yes, my brother, like everything, I had to be the responsible one. Um, and I understand I'm the eldest, but not even my brother, not even my sister, when they were older, they had responsibilities. Ever. Ever. They would even get their clothes washed by their parents, even till now. You know, so I was, I started seeing the reality of like how my mom treated me versus my other siblings, and they were never put to clean the bathroom. The bathroom would be filthy dirty, the house would be filthy dirty, and they would, this was when I moved out, they would never be put to clean. And it's like, but I had to be like, I had to clean everything, and I would do it with pride. I would do it like happy, like Cinderella, literally. Just innocent person, just innocent, and like listening to music and enjoying what I'm doing, because I don't see the bad in people, and I didn't see their real intentions. It was my own mother, it was my mom. And it just, little things like that just put everything into perspective, like how she really was, and how she raised me, and how she treated me, and how it was okay for my stepfather, my brother, my sister to treat me like that too, right? Or do it behind my back, because they wouldn't even do it to my face ever. Not even my own mother. She would give me tasks to do. She would, like if it was normal, and then everything else was done behind my back, behind closed doors, literally. She always made my, and it's all spiritual, you guys. It's all spiritual. When I became more spiritual, when I had my awakening, that was really hard. But my father, he always, I'm always gonna appreciate, and I love my father dearly. And I don't think we could ever get back to where we were, because his truth has come out, and he is not innocent. Yes, he's trying to protect me, but he's also siphoned my energy. And I realized, like, really realized, when I was telling him this passion, this dream that I have. This was 2 years ago. The end of 2023, right? November, December time. I was telling him of like my dream, because he had started his cleaning business with his wife. That is his dream, right? To leave something behind to his kids, to have his own thing going on for him. And that's great for him, right? So we would be talking about business stuff all the time, right? Because that's what he was embodying, you know. He had his own business and stuff, and I was fine with it, you know. Like, I just want to be with my dad. I just want to hear him, and even if it was on the phone. And I mentioned and I told him about this dream that I have, and he, like, literally, this is so evil. And this is my parents, you guys. Him, like being ignorant, and like if he was trying to like have a laugh but not like, you can't succeed, you can't do that, you can't make that happen, that type. Like, it doesn't matter if you send me a text, if it's a phone call, if it's you're across the street, I'm gonna feel your energy. Like, you can't fool me, right? And so that was his response. He didn't really say much, but he said it all. And that hurt me so bad. I'm like, okay. Everything just shattered. Like how I looked up to my own father, everything just shattered. You know? Like, you're a fake. You know? You are being a fake with me. And I started backtracking on the times where I felt a nudge, I felt my intuition, like something feels off, like your dad doesn't feel authentic, you know? He's not being truthful or real or sincere. He's not, you know? And that's when I started distancing myself from him. I'm like, why, how would you react like that towards your own daughter and not want the best for her and cheer her on? Like, be realistic, because I was struggling. I am a single parent. Yes, I have to have a stable income, and then I could do that on the side or whatever, right? Help me out here. You are my father. I'm asking you for advice. That's why I'm telling you. Right? And you know, and that's how he reacted towards it. I'm like, okay, you're on the devil side. You know, you are on the devil side, and I can't trust you anymore. You're no longer my father. In that aspect of, I could trust you. Like, I could tell you anything or everything. Yeah, I don't know who you've become. And he started acting more like this the more. So my parents, my whole life, they have always wanted me to stay low, not aspire to be anything. Talk about it, and that's okay, but to keep my enthusiasm, my passion, my, you know, that what you feel inside, like, I'm gonna go for it, that motivation, that energy, that you have to take the action. My own family has always tried to like lower me, like push all that and leave it inside of me, you know, like push it down. Don't bring that into to the surface. We don't want to see none of that, you know. That's not good, you know. And I used to think that because we're in America and because we're a different race, different what is it? ethnicity, were immigrants, it was more of that mentality. They're afraid, right? And we were with our visas, like we weren't like citizens yet. And you know, whatever mentality that they had, you know, like poor mentality or victim mentality, whatever, and they were just marrying to me. But it was more than that. Yes, it was a little bit of that, because it took my father years of his life to not start something for himself. And I'm 30 now, so how many years? Probably 17 years to actually realize this, you know? And it's really just, it's evil. It's evil because yes, it was part of that, but it was also, they knew who the fuck I was becoming, what my destiny was, what I am meant to be here on this earth for, and what gifts I have, what strengths, what powers I have. Like, I couldn't be myself, not even in my own household. They were probably in the beginning scared of me, so they did that, not on purpose. But then it started becoming a very negative thing, right? And they started using my energy, and it became evil. And it just became a thing of like, they have to control me. I have to become nothing, and everything's gonna be fine in their life. But you know, and I'm figuring this stuff is coming to me, you guys, after years of blocking, years of trauma, years of like spiritual attacks. Like, when you are attacked so much in your freaking life, so much in your life, that it's normal. It's normal, you guys. This was my life. When you can barely function because there's so much fucking attacks being put on you from an early age. I thought this was my life, and I gave up because I didn't have the strength to keep going. You know, and a lot of times I'm just living a depressed life my whole life. And I think this YouTuber Stephanie Smith, who has gone through black magic her whole life too, by her own mother, her own family members doing it to her. That's how I realized, you know, like, and you have these feelings of like, this is not who I am. You know, it's like you see clouds around you. It's a blue sky, there's clouds around you, and they're covering the sun beams, right, coming through, and then there's a space of a cloud, and then one comes through, right? That's how, since I was really young, that's how I would have my spurts of like, this is me, right? When that cloud would open a little, and the sunshine, the ray would just like come out, that's me, right? That's who I was. I was remembering who I was. Like, this is me, how I am, and like how my life is, how I am every single day. That's not who I am. This second, this time, like this moment right here, this is who I am. Why am I depressed, with anxiety, just in a fog, darkness? why is my life like this? My whole life, you guys. And it was my own parents doing this shit to me. And I'm certain it was my own aunts from my mother's side, and all her family condoning and being okay with what my mom was doing, my family was doing, and who I was. People knew who I was and, well, what was I meant to become, and people were scared, and that's how they try to shun me. They tried to put all my gifts, everything, just into like a box and lock it in like a dark place, you know, and lock it away. Like, I'm never gonna know who I am. That's what they did to me. And yes, I, you know, in the past, I'm more like, I have faith and I know that justice will be served, and everyone gets their karma, right? Karma is so real. I've always believed karma is so real. And there's a lot of things I have to heal, in the sense of I'm so advanced in my soul and my spiritual, like in a spiritual sense, I'm so advanced that I don't need like, I heal myself. I'm a healer, so I could heal myself, right? And in order to heal others, I need to heal myself. I could still do it right now, you know, heal people, but the potency is not fully there yet, because I'm still healing, right? I've been through so much. And so for me, it may take a few months, right? Realizations, downloads, streams. I get downloads from the higher ups, like how I'm getting downloads right now, literally right now. It's not something I've been like meaning to talk about. It just occurred, and I'm getting downloads literally right now of experiences of the past. What I've been talking about right now, it just came. And healing from that. Feeling, because in order to heal, you have to feel that experience again. Raw. Feel all those emotions, how you felt, what they did, if they treated you a certain way, if they spoke to you, if they looked at you, what feelings did you have, where it happened, every little thing, every little detail. Feel that shit. And you're gonna learn the truth, right? The intention, the reality. How you tried to excuse it, how you tried to fool yourself, whatever, in order to protect yourself, whatever results you wanted in that moment. And then you're gonna learn how to heal, right? You're gonna start healing that. You have to accept it. What was done to you, you have to accept how you accepted it, how you thought it was okay, how you made an excuse because it was XYZ. Whatever the case is, right? You have to start, and then you start healing. I don't take a long time to heal. For a lot of people, majority of the people, it takes years to heal from a narcissistic relationship. But for me, I heal very fast. I have a very sharp mind and intuition, and I mean, you know, it's gonna be, obviously, the longer the years that you were in this situation or whatever situation, it's gonna take you a little bit longer, right? Like for me, it was my whole childhood, whole teenage years, up until 2-3 months ago, that I cut my family off. And I'm gonna need healing for a while, you know, because I'm still getting like these blockages that I have. Like, I've tried to block out certain parts of my life, my younger years, because of these things. I didn't want to see. I've always known the truth since I was young. I've always seen the truth in people, no matter the age. If you're a grown adult, if you're young, if you're whatever, school age, whatever. I've always seen people's intentions, their hearts, their souls, and how they're deceiving me or deceiving, right? That's part of it, why I've tried to forget so much of like my younger years, because I couldn't cope with it. I could not handle it. These gifts, I wanted to get rid of them. I didn't want them because I couldn't handle the fucking truth. You know, and when you're young, it's horrible to know that your mother wants you, like, she doesn't want you. It's horrible, you know. And even my siblings, like, we used to have to like beg for her love, her affection, her time, because she wouldn't care, you know. And yes, she has her own traumas and issues, and she didn't want to heal. And that sucks, right? We had to deal with her, and she had to deal with her ancestors, or her, you know, her family traumas, and she didn't want to deal with it and cope with them, you know. And that sucks, you know. So there's a lot of like spiritual and realistic approach to these things. And when people aren't spiritually opened, or they're closed off, even if they're religious, I go the other way, because I'm not gonna bother. I'm not even gonna try with you. If you have no idea about spirituality, about the spirit realm, you haven't lived through things, but you are open, I don't mind, you know, sharing, and I don't mind teaching you things, making you see how spirituality, how the spirit realm is in the 3D realm. Like, everything happens in the spiritual realm first before it happens here in the 3D. It's so hard. Like, last year, for months, towards the end of the the second part, I would say from 6-month mark of the year, which is June, from June till October, I was like with high anxiety, afraid, just fear. Something's gonna happen in the world. Something is coming. Something, you know, like, you want to even throw up. You can't, you know, like, something is coming, you know. And it's in the spiritual realm, it's happening now. But in the 3D, in the world, it's not gonna happen till a few months later, right? and all these things that's going on right now in the world, you know, that's what that is. It's just the start of it. And you know, things like that, that you don't have control. You don't have control of this stuff. You have these gifts and you have no control. And you know, I could be very emotional, but very cold. And in order to be so like gifted and feel for people and be a healer, you have to be very emotional. You know, there's sometimes that I'm not emotional at all. I have like a warrior mindset and I'm just going because I don't have time to be crying. I'm getting attacked in every freaking direction possible of my life on the daily in my sleep, because when you sleep, you are in the spiritual realm. You are fighting, you're going to war, right? When people are like, if someone does some spell work or throws something at me, gives me the evil eye, whatever, behind my back, I know the next day, because I'm gonna dream about it, because I see it in the spiritual realm, what you did yesterday or the day before or you're doing right now, because all the spell work, black magic stuff is done at night, right? So I'm here, I'm in my dreams fighting, so I'm not even resting, I'm awake. I'm fighting those attacks. And then I wake up and I have to do I have to go to work. I have to take care of my child. You know, you have things to do during the day. And that's a little part of what it is, you know? And I thought I was crazy. I mean, like, I don't have a lot of people to talk about this stuff, this spiritual warrior stuff that I go through in my dreams when I'm sleeping. I'm like, I know this is fucking real, because I'm exhausted when I wake up. Like, it's not a dream. You're exhausted and you fucking get answers of the people that are doing this shit to you in real life. The people in your life are doing this shit to you. That instinct, that nudge, that feeling you got when you spoke to them 2 days ago became reality when you went to sleep and you saw it in the spiritual realm. It's all connected. Just some can see more than others. And I tried to run away from it for a very long time too. Because my parents didn't help me. My parents never gave me the tools to be ready for reality, for this world. Never. Every once in a while they would give you advice here and there, but never gave me the tools. Like, they never had the tools either, because they never had parents. So it would be very helpful and beneficial to prepare your own children, your own blood, prepare them for the real world, because they shouldn't want you to suffer like how they did, right? But no, you know. And so it was really hard for me growing up and seeing this reality. Like, I wasn't prepared for it, but also spiritually I wasn't prepared for that shit. So I ran away a lot. I ran from my problems a lot because I know what it was, I know what it is, and I didn't want to deal with it. I saw the truth when that partner was lying to me that they did this or they deceived me or whatever their intentions were, how they betrayed me. I always saw the truth. Like, even before it happened, I know it's gonna happen. I knew a few hours, a few weeks before you did it, that you were gonna do it. So now that you're lying to me, it's done. And that's what I told an ex of mine. And I didn't tell him till years after. And like, I know you did this and that. Like, he blamed me. I've always been the blamer of cheating. Like, I'm the one that cheats. Like, and they're the ones that cheated, actually. I never cheated. Right? But once you know someone cheated, or someone is gonna cheat and they actually cheat, you know, they're talking to people, whatever it is, and they do it and then they blame you, you're not gonna be emotionally into them anymore. You know, like, you're done. As a female, you're done. So every single relationship I've had in my life, I've been cheated on. And I've always been blamed to be the one that was unfaithful. Which is so funny. And I don't, even if my parents, you know, it was like a longer relationship and my parents, you know, knew that person and, you know, we were like more connected like that. I never made the approach, or I never cared to bring my name in, like, to justice. Like, oh, they did it first. Like, they cheated. And that's why we're not together. And then, you know, the other party's blaming me that I did it, that I was the one. I never cared because I know justice, there's karma, you know? And people fucking make up stories and lie on your name all the time, right? So it's like, I'm not gonna put in that work. You know, whoever believes your shit, well, they're out of my life because they're not loyal to me. They're gonna quickly believe something that, you know. And I had one relationship where we were together for a while and we lived together, and you know, I heard him talk. He was talking to his friend one time in his kitchen, and he was being so negative and like he doesn't want me anymore. And I never heard those feelings ever. He never was truthful with me, right? And yeah, I was more clingy back in the day, you know. And some people are more emotional, some aren't, you know. And he just, like, he didn't want to be with me anymore, you know. And he was just talking negative, and I'm like, wow. Like, but when you're in front of my face, you act like everything's normal and we're happy, you know. That was the betrayal for me. And it took me a few months. I'm like, I need to prepare how I'm gonna, not how I'm gonna leave, but like, you know, I moved back to my mom's house, and a few months later, and it's funny because he never like realized like if I was a problem, you know, like I ended things like there's nothing wrong. I'm like, bitch, you fucking told your friend you didn't want me, Like, what the fuck, you know? Like, if you don't want your, you know, and he was being more egotistical and more prideful because I wasn't working. I was an illegal, you know, like I didn't have a visa, I didn't have papers, so I couldn't work, you know. And his friend had his fiance, they were gonna get married, and she was working since she was 16, 17. You know, she's a citizen from here. And you know, he probably felt embarrassed of me, right? um and that's not my issue, that's his. And you know, that's why he talked like bad about me, or he talked negative about me. And yeah, I'm like, I'm done. Like, you're not gonna do that shit and act like, receive all that I'm giving you, my love and affection, and like, you know, I was basically a wife. And like, for you to do that to me, talk behind my back like that, no. And his heart, of course, he loved me, right? We loved each other, but he did that shit. And it was done. And I moved back to my mom's, and you know, he would try to visit every day. He would be crying and like, no, I'm not gonna take you back because you betrayed me in that way. You don't have to like sleep with someone, but you betrayed me, right? And yeah, that's what it was. You know, I moved on, and that's what it is, you know. But people always you know, like, for a long time I'm like, karma, karma, karma. You know, people always wanna like fuck me over, and a lot of people have in my life. And I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it, have obedience, because I know there's a God, you know. My ancestors, whoever I didn't know back then, my angels, my ancestors of the highest white light, I didn't know them back then, but I know there's someone up there that will bring justice. They're gonna bring karma to this, who have hurt me, you know, who have done me wrong and lied on my name and said horrible things when it wasn't true. They were the ones doing it, right? So I've dealt with people like this my whole fucking life, my whole life. And I used to feel really sorry for myself, but knowing that there is a higher purpose, the reasoning why everything was done to me, that I just, you know, I had my big awakening when my son was a few months old in 2021, and that's when I started realizing, you know, on and off, it started coming to me like, I'm this powerful person. And you know, like I tell you guys about the clouds and like the sun rays popping through and stuff, I would get little like pictures in my head. That's who I am. Like, I am meant for greatness, you know. I have a higher purpose, you know. And everyone in my whole life, they could see my potential. They could see this special being that I am, a chosen one. This, like, my energy is just so strong and potent and happy, and you know, like, I have a purpose, and I'm like powerful and strong. And you know, I didn't know that about myself. You know, if you don't have someone like that in your life, or someone who could show you like your gifts and your potential and how others perceive you, like how others see you, really, you're not gonna know that within yourself. Especially if you're like a rare being. You know, you have this strength and power within you. You have this power to change people, you know, your gifts. And that's why, you know, it doesn't matter who. Every single person in my life has betrayed me, has put me down, has talked about me, just anything and everything. And only God could give you the strength. Only God could give me the strength and the perseverance and to keep going. Because there are some days that I don't have the strength at all. I'm physically tired. I'm burnt out from working, hustling. You know, it's when someone leaves you to die, like they're just like whatever, they don't help you in any way, and you're a single parent, you're gonna get burnt out more often than not, you know, until you learn to manage, you stabilize your life, because it doesn't matter what event you go through or experience. Like, you know, for example, the California fires right now, they're not stable at all. That shit threw their life out the window, right? And they gotta get back up and build and build and build again. It takes a while to stabilize yourself. And every single person in my life has tried to unstabilize me. Even at my lowest, they're still throwing fucking rocks, still throwing spells and black magic, and still talking behind my back. When you have nothing and they still try to do that shit, when you don't even have a roof over your head and they still try to do that shit, what is that saying? No one can bring me down. Even if I have material, I don't. No one can bring me down, because my spirit is fucking strong. I am God's child. He gives me everything, all the tools I need to conquer. I will never be without. That's what people don't understand. There is a 3D world. You could have cars, you could have wealth, you could have material stuff, a nice house, you could have all the clothes, all the tech stuff you need, like you want. That ain't shit. You know, if you don't have God, you don't have anything. He provides and he gives everything to you. When you don't have, he will give it to you. I don't need to manipulate. I don't need to betray people. I don't need to do anything bad. That's why it's taking so long for me to get where I am meant to be. And this is the year, the anxiousness I've been feeling last year, this is the fucking year that I'm gonna be seen. A lot of us chosen ones are gonna be seen. The shit we've been dealing with, it's now gonna reverse. because the spiritual world, there's no veil. There's no more veil. You know how people can manipulate and deceive others? Like they're the devil and they're gonna deceive you. Like if you're a regular person here on earth, they're gonna deceive you easily because their intentions are pure. They have bad intentions. They're deceiving you. They're gonna betray you. You know, like how a fucking guy wants to get in your pants. They're gonna do anything and everything possible in order to do it, right? They're gonna all the tricks in the book, they're gonna try it on you, right? Until they get what they want, and that's it. This year it's reversing, right? That was a veil, right? How we can't see the evilness in people. There's no more veil. The veil, it's gone. This year is the year of 9. It's gone. Anywhere in the world, we're gonna see the truth now. And a lot of people can't handle that shit because a lot of people, like the people in Hollywood. What is Hollywood, you guys? Hollywood is fantasy and deceiving and showing the people, the public, how we need to live our lives, how our lives need to look, the material stuff, how we need to have white picket fences, a decent home, how we need to be housewives, how we need to look the picture, how the picture needs to look, how we need to have a family, an office job, whatever the fuck it is, right? And how most people, I'm in America, so most Americans, they look to that. The more of you that is that means you've made it. Even for Americans, not just immigrants or people, international people. That means you've made it. And that's just so, it's bullshit. It's fucking false. You know, you work so hard in your life just to make it in America. It's fucking stupid. And I've never, like, I was raised like, oh, this is how it has, this is good, this is how it has to be. And, you know, this is what we are trying to aim for. And it's like, you're gonna be in debt your whole life. You're gonna be working hard your whole life, retire when you're old as hell, to die a few years later, a few months, God forbid, but you're not enjoying your life. You're working like a fucking dog until you retire, and then you have all this money or whatever money you have. For what? That never made sense to me. And it's just, it's hilarious, you know? And yeah. And how people, like, their agendas are evil, right? People that can't be in the spiritual and the physical world, they're not going to be able to handle shit. They're not going to handle it. And that's, if you are of God, God is spiritual. These religions are all, they've been tainted. A lot of wickedness, right? It's not pure, it's not authentic. The relationship you have with God on a personal level, that's gonna determine everything. He will give you the discernment, right? To see in the spiritual, to be discerned in this physical world. You know, and I've never, I didn't grow up reading the Bible until my teen years. My stepfather, my mother, and my younger sister, even my brother, they started going to church, going to Bible study and all these things, right? They started learning more. And I asked my mom once when I was like, a teen, something about, I don't remember what, something to do with the Bible or with God. She didn't have an answer for me. So, it's like the blind will lead the blind. Because that church wasn't shit, it's like you don't, what's the point? It's like they're following a religion, Catholic, and they're going to Bible study and everything, but they're not learning. Like, it's just about social events. It's just about, because I'm asking you questions that I'm not even spiritual. Like, I don't know anything about the Bible. In that moment, I didn't know anything. I never had opened a Bible before because I didn't know about it. And I was always taught as a young girl to be afraid of God. Why am I going to be afraid of God? Tell me. Why should I fear him? When everything I read, I had my first communion. I had, I was baptized. My first communion, I remember, and I love first communion. It was all positive, right? We're young. I was like 10 or 11, I think, or 12. But Jesus loves you, and 10 Commandments and all these things, right? That you learn in the classes. And like, adults have it really fucked up. Just wickedness and evilness under the scriptures, under like the verses, under how you're supposed to speak in church, all these like intentional evil things, and then they want to put it on their children too. Like, don't do this because of this. Shame on you, blah, blah, blah. That is why I left my previous job. I was taking care of a client, and, this client, he's an older male, with dementia and other physical things that he couldn't really manage, right? So I would mostly take him on outings and just spending time together. And he lived with a sister. He lives with a sister, and she's Jehovah's Witness. I don't have nothing against any religion, but you show me, you're like, not that I'm judging per person, per religion, but if someone comes who is religious and they perceive themselves to be a certain way and they show me something else, I'm gonna know who you are, right? Because I see your truth. I see your truth because I have that discernment. I'm not judging. I'm seeing your truth. So you cannot lie to me and tell me you're this and that, because you're being fake, right? You're not no holy person. And she told me once, because yes, I have a stressful life. I am a single parent. Sometimes I can't manage to pay my bills on time, right? Or I struggle. And I would smoke sometimes, a cigarette. And we became like, she became more open towards me. And I'm taking care of her brother. I'm taking her brother out on outings. So she is not in our presence. So she has to have some trust in me, right? It was an agency, and that they work with, and so she became more open little by little, and that's totally normal, right? That's understandable, because they've been through a lot of caregivers. And people aren't, they say they act, but they're not, and so she told me, I mentioned that because we were getting closer, and she told me like past things that were more had to do with like drug related stories, like a brother-in-law and stuff like that. And we're just sharing stories. And she saw me as a person like non-judgmental, because if not, she is more holy now. She is a Faith of Jehovah's Witness. So if she's opening up and telling me things that are not so holy, and like they're more wicked and like illegal, then she feels comfortable with me. I'm not gonna judge her, and then one day she tells me, shame on you, because of the and little by little, like I don't need a lot to see the truth. And she started showing me like how she's judgmental. She started having a evil eye, envy, jealousy of how I would be in my own skin, and that's where people fuck up, because I'm gonna not be in your life anymore, because I don't need that shit. I don't need to be judged every fucking day. You're not saying shit, but I see it, and I know what the fuck you're thinking. Your energy is two-faced, your energy is not authentic. So she started catching on, and it was just getting uncomfortable, and the older you get, the more wise you get, because you go through shit in life, and that's just normal. And that's why I like older people, like elderly, because they have so much to say, like yes, I have discernment, yes, I know things, but it's always nice to just sit down and talk to an elder, and they're always gonna teach you something about life, about what they've been through in their life, or an experience, and that's what I've always wanted with my own parents, but it's just crazy. It's like, that stuff is free, that stuff is free. It doesn't take money to tell me anything, just share your experience. That's golden, dude. Like, people take so many things for granted. It's crazy. And I would rather just stay away from people like that. Simple as that. Because hell no. It's just gonna get worse, and you're just gonna waste your resources, your energy, and your time. I've learned that the hard way, because I've always wanted people to like me, because I've always been like the outcast at school and everything. Always been ganged up on by groups of people, even till this day. Like I'm going to actually cut this video off and then start another one, you guys. It's getting too long.